Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a special edition of Kilts and Culture. We drink a lot of scotch on the show. We test a lot of things. So we figured it's probably about time we figured out what we were actually doing. So we brought in a ringer. Bill Reid, old friend of ours. This man, if there's anyone I know who loves Scotland more than me, or is obsessed with Scotland more than me, it is this man. He started out basically working with your father, doing festivals. He's run festivals. He's been a retailer. He's been a wholesaler. He's run tours. He's dealt with musicians. If there's something having to do with Scotland, he's done it. So today, what are we testing?
Well, it looks like we're going to do a lowland, a highland, and an island. So they're all different. And that's the unique thing about Scottish whiskey, is that it's always different. It's mild, it's pleasant, and it can be rough. And then we'll try the different ones. Now you guys do drink single malts.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, do you know what a single malt is?
It's one malt. It's not blended.
Exactly.
Yes.
So if you take like a Johnny Walker Red, which is a favorite, it's a blend. There are 52 whiskeys in Johnny Walker Red. And the base of it is called Cardew. It's a very, very nice single malt from the Highlands. 20, 30 years ago, nobody ever heard of single malts. It has become the thing. And the Irish are moving into single malts also. But basically, it still remains a Scottish thing. It's unique.
So what are we trying today? What are we starting with? I'm assuming we want to go the least flavorful.
Yeah, let's start out with the lowland. This is the Glenkinchie.
Okay.
And it's actually made just below Edinburgh. And it's very light, it's very easy to drink. It often, if you're with somebody who's not a single malt drinker or not a whiskey drinker, this is a good one to start off because it is a lighter whiskey. It's not going to bite you so much. Some people like it with lunch. You know, I'm not a drinker of my scotch with a meal. Yeah, or breakfast.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I don't drink it while I'm eating. I like to taste it.
Yeah.
All right, which
Agreed.
is something important.
And after dinner.
After dinner.
A wee nip before bed.
Yeah. Rocky,
Sure.
you may open.
Sure, I'll do the honors. Now, as we're opening this, give us a little bit of background. What's your experience with Scotch tastings?
I've been to tons and tons of Scotch whiskey tastings. I've been to dozens of distilleries in Scotland. It's a complicated thing. Supposedly, whiskey started out, and you could say in India or Greece or parts of Africa. Eventually, what we have here, we want to thank our Irish cousins because they're the ones who developed a whiskey.
Process.
Yeah. And eventually it made its way from Ireland, probably through the monks and whatnot. They brought it over, and then it got more and more refined. The Irish whiskey is made differently than the Scottish whiskey. Won't bore you with all that. Irish whiskey uses grain and corn. Scottish whiskey, barley. That's it. It's a fermentation process. Within the process, it actually becomes like a beer. And when you smell it, you go, that's beer. If you fell into the vat, you would die because it's too strong. Eventually, it's a fermentation process and then an evaporation process that comes out at the end of the day as clear as that water. No color. What gives it the color is what do they put it into, the barrel. Yeah. All right. Much of the barrels that they use for the whiskeys is American oak, which is actually from Canada. Usually it's held bourbon for a while, and it gives it coloring. Bourbon can only use the cask once, so the Scots are smart.
They
buy it up.
Okay.
You know, they buy it up. They might burn it out. They might clean it, and then they can use it for their whiskey. In order to be called a malt, it has to be in the barrel for a minimum of 3 years. Actually, 3 years and 1 day. That 1 day is important. I don't know why. Then the next step is 7 year. You don't often find that in any of the single malts. You might find it in a blend. For a single malt, generally 10, 12, 15, 21. They're your years. Depending on how long it sits in the cask, it's going to change its color, it's going to change its texture, and it's probably going to get more expensive.
That's fair as well.
Whether it is better or not, whether it tastes better, it really comes down to your palate, what you like.
And once it's out of the barrel, the clock stops, on the aging.
As soon as you put it in a bottle.
If I keep this 12-year for 20 more years, it's not a 32-year, it's still a 12-year.
Exactly 12-year-old. So, again, this has been sitting in a barrel for 12 years. And in that course of the time, it's going to lose, the barrel will lose about 2%, sometimes up to 6%, depends on where it's kept. The Scots call that the angel's share.
Yep.
The angel share. So the angels get that 2%, which I guess is why they're always smiling in pictures.
No, I want more than 2%.
All right, we're going to start out with this
Sign me up.
Glenkinchie, beautiful distillery. It is a process in Scotland to have a distillery if you want to make tons of money. It is a moneymaker because people from around the world want to come to your place. They want to taste their whiskey, and they want to sit in the gift shop or go to the gift shop and buy lots and lots of bottles, which is peculiar because when we bring the single malt or any of the scotches from overseas, we're only allowed one bottle. So I've had people that I know have brought over 12 bottles at a time. The deal there is if you get stopped by customs, they could charge you the duty.
The duty on it, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to take it away. Anyway, let's taste some of this. It's sort of like a wine. If you swirl it around, you should start seeing some legs. Sometimes the older the whiskey, the more legs, like a wine.
Okay.
And the best way to do it is smell it first. Put your nose in there. Okay, now I want you to do a trick. Put your nose in there and smell it. All right? It's pretty harsh. Open your mouth and smell it. Smile. Different.
Yeah, smooth it out a little bit more.
Yeah, the reason is if you stick your nose in there and go, let me smell that.
You keep your mouth closed and it traps it all.
It gets in your nose, it burns your nose, and your nose says to your brain, I'm going to hate this. This is going to hurt. If you open up your mouth, totally different.
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter
Yeah. It's interesting to do that.
It is.
Now, the next thing to do is just put a little in your mouth, swish it around a wee bit. Okay. What do you think?
A little harsher than I was expecting. Very woody tasting.
Yeah, I feel it in the back of my mouth. I don't know why people say that. When people say, well, if you ever go to a whiskey tasting in Scotland, the best thing they do, the funniest thing they do, I think, is they go, now, what do you taste? And everybody stands there and go, I don't know. And then the woman or the man will say, do you taste vanilla?
The power of suggestion.
And everybody goes,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, do you taste lemon? Oh, yeah. I don't think that happens, to me. And what's the point? What are you going to sit there and break it down? You're sitting there with friends. You're standing here with friends. You're not going to go, gee, do I taste the honey in it? Yeah. We went to a whiskey tasting, Glenfiddich, nice tasting. But I told everybody who was going, I said, when they ask you, what do you taste? Everybody go, vanilla. Just like that. So we did it. And this poor girl, she said, what do you taste? And everybody went, we taste vanilla. Well, it ruined her whole spiel. And then she realized we're just playing games with her. So she said, we won't talk about all the different textures. We're going to just taste it. All right, so now we had it, what's called neat, straight, nothing in it. All right, now, open your little water bottle there, or you can share it. All right, now, some people will say they only like to drink it straight. I think it has a different taste when you put a little water in it. The reason, it's sort of like taking a flower, putting water in it. It opens it up, it blossoms. Tastes entirely differently. Two ways of doing it. The whiskey taster at Oban Distillery uses these little things, which is just, put some water in that way. But the other trick when you're sitting at your local bar is to get a straw.
Okay.
Put your finger on the top, get some water in there, and just...
Does it matter how much? I mean, do I want half a straw or...?
It doesn't matter, because when you put it in, I want you to put it just 3 or 4 drops.
Oh, just 3 or 4 drops?
Yeah,
Right.
especially in this size. And this is a good pour. You're not pouring, you don't want to fill the whole glass.
Right.
Mainly because you want to go home and you don't want to get arrested.
Fair point.
So
That's why I live close to work.
Right. Now, what you want to do now,
literally only 3 or 4 small drops I put in.
that's all you need.
Okay.
Just a couple. Now smell it. Keep your mouth open. And it should be a little bit lighter. Now taste her. Sweeter?
It makes a difference, yeah.
the little bite is gone, I think.
The vanilla really comes out.
Really, I was
Taste of
getting
lemon?
chocolate.
Yeah, I was getting caramel.
But I find if you want to put a little water in, 2, 3, maybe 4 drops,
Yeah. No,
just to open it.
this, adding the extra little bit, I'd say I had 8 to 10 drops, is still fine. This mellowed it out
Right.
even a little bit more
Now
for me.
you can sit and you can drink it and enjoy it. And that's the whole deal. It's not like you see a bunch of guys from college age guys who go into a bar and they line up the shots of Jameson, right? And then they,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, somebody once said to me, they realize that you throw the Jameson back is because it tastes like crap. But I'm not going there. The idea is, I stay away from ice. Most people that are selling whiskey, they go, don't put ice in it. Because what the ice does, it really retards the flavor and it changes it. They do sell these little rocks and you put them in your whiskey stones,
Yeah.
put them in your freezer and they get cold. That's if you like it cold. To me, I like to warm up my whiskey.
Yeah, I
You know,
think,
almost like a brandy.
yeah, I mean, cold temperatures always reduce your ability to
Yeah,
taste things, so that
exactly.
makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we'll save the ice for the Jameson, maybe.
Maybe. Now, the other thing is some people say, well, I'm going to put soda in it, or I'm going to put
What?
anything in. Yeah, put Coke in it, or they put lemonade in Scotland in the blend.
Don't do that.
Really?
Well,
No.
the only answer there is it's your $55. If you want to ruin it with that, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, it's your choice.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's like a cocktail kind of a thing. You're not going to do that with
Yeah.
something this expensive, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are we pairing it with any foods or what are
Well,
we
the
doing?
only thing we bring in here is just basically just to clear your palate a little bit. Little cheese,
Okay.
any kind of cheese, unless it's brie and then it gets all over your fingers. Just to clear it out. Taste it with the whiskey. If we have 3 grams of this, then I have to sleep here tonight. I want you to take a little.
I just did.
Okay, a little bit of chocolate. Put the chocolate in your mouth, chew it up, make it soft, and then take a little of your whiskey. Isn't that wild?
It is.
Changes the whole thing. Some people like milk chocolate. I prefer dark chocolate.
Yeah, I'm with
And
you.
it really changes it. And what I've discovered over the years at different whiskey tastings, if I'm doing them or somebody else is, people that say, I don't like whiskey, they say, well, try a little piece of chocolate. And they go, oh, that is totally
Yeah.
different. It is so
It is.
good. It is so good because it does change that.
Yeah.
I don't think the monks from Ireland, when they brought it to Scotland, ever thought of chocolate. You know,
Fair point.
but
Wouldn't
any
have had
case.
it back then.
No.
Yeah,
no.
a few hundred years too early.
Right. Now, let's just talk a second about what makes it different. Water, you have to have water, you have to have sunlight, you have to have air. And those things make the difference tasting in the Scotch. The Glenkinchie comes to the lowland of Scotland. The weather's finer, it's nicer, it's more mild, it's easier. The rain is there. You need the rain, you need the water. Every single distillery has its own source of water. They don't bottle it themselves. I think there's only 2 of them. The rest of it send their casks down to Edinburgh or Perth or Glasgow and they bottle it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But it's where it comes from. So when you get up into the Highlands, which is what we'll try the next one, the Macallan, this one here has a lot of heather notes. The water up there runs through more heather. So you're going to have your water for the distillery. That makes a change. The rocks that it goes over in the stream and the vegetation, the heather, the peaty soil. You know, for those that don't know, peat is nothing but compressed compost over thousands and thousands of years. And in the northern part of Scotland, they still cut peat. Parts of Ireland, they still cut peat. You cut it, you dry it, and they burn it. Right. But the water goes through the peat, and they get that water out, and they start making the whiskey, and that's going to change the whole flavor. This isn't very peaty, but Macallan is a very nice, probably one of the most popular single malts in the world. They do a light one, they do a 10-year, 12-year-old, then they go up there from that point. We got a 12-year-old. Darker color, mainly because this, instead of an American oak cask, this is done in either a sherry or a Madeira wine cask. So, once again, check it out. Looks good, swirled around. Be very snobbish. Keep that mouth open.
Definitely a darker color. It's got a little bit more legs to it.
A little stronger. Yeah, definitely legs on this one.
Well, the aroma is definitely different.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it just reminded me of where I go on vacation every year.
Where?
I go to an event called Pensick War, and it's a camping event, and it's reminding me of like the wood fires and the straw on the ground and stuff like that. It's kind of the almost a weird memory trigger right there.
Well, that's the other thing. The whiskey, when it's being made, it's germination after the barley is germinated. They have to heat it. They used to do big rakes, hand turning it constantly. Now machinery does it. Might be one or two distilleries that still do the hand turning, but for the most part, it's machines that do it.
Is there any? Well, you may not know this, but I'll ask it anyway. As a psych minor in college, is there any psychological trick to smiling while you're doing it? Having your brain, like if you're depressed or you're in a bad mood, if you smile and force yourself to smile, you eventually become in a better mood.
As a psych major, you will probably say yes.
Okay.
I'd say you're full of it.
It wouldn't be the first time I've been accused of being full of it. So
Nah.
that's fine.
All right, let's
You're in good
taste it.
company.
No, I think yeah, it's
You and my wife.
And the one
see
thing
that.
you have to do on every single Scottish whiskey is don't shoot it. It's not to be gulped.
No.
Especially when you get that Lagavulin or whatever we're drinking over there. When you shoot that, your eyeballs are going to bulge.
Yeah.
And you're not enjoying, you're not finding anything. And you're missing the sober camaraderie. Anyway, you've tasted it. Let's do a little water in them. Back to our little trick.
Yeah, it's definitely still harsh.
Yep.
You know what? It tasted sweeter to me than the first one, though.
I taste the sherry.
Yeah, I think it's
Yep.
the sherry difference.
I'll try one straw first.
Oops. You got about 5 drops there.
Sweet. I find it to be sweet.
So it's not just me.
No.
I thought it was very sweet.
And I think that is the sherry. And I think the water opens it up. But again, it's a personal choice. If you don't want to add water, don't add water. But in my
It definitely
opinion,
mellows it out.
yeah, and most of the whiskey tasters
See?
and distilleries, they will say add a little bit of water.
But I like now Lagavulin.
I was probably adding too much water when I've done this on the show. But
I like this one. So far, I like this more than the Glenkinchie.
I would agree.
It's to me.
Maybe I'm a sherry cask guy. I think I may be.
See, now I don't like this one quite as much as the Glenkinchie. I taste the sherry more. I agree on the sweeter thing. It's not as much my taste with that. If I'm going to want something non-extremist taste, then the first one was a little bit mellower after the water. So, okay.
Yep.
I think it's
I wouldn't
worth,
kick it out of bed, but I like the first one a touch more.
it's worth knowing that Glenkinchie wants us to drink responsibly. Macallan? No.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything
They
like
don't care.
that. No, they don't care.
So I reckon I like this one. Yeah, it's a nice whiskey. Up in the Highlands, a little bit gentler, easy to get through. Now, when you do the Scotland, if you go through to do the whiskey trail, 90% is up on the Highlands of Scotland, and you could probably hit 20 distilleries.
It tasted a little bit better than when I first drank it.
Well, you notice I like to keep it in my hand because
Right.
I like it warm. So yeah, it's going to change. It's going to change. Like a wine, if you leave the wine out for any length of time.
Okay. And we've noticed that in our tastings, if we drink it right at the beginning and then right before we throw it at a regular show, we get a different flavor profile, taste or something.
and plus you've had some, and then no matter what, it's going to start affecting your thought processes. It's going to slow you. It's going to mellow you a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's going to taste a little different. Just these little drams here, we're talking a lot more. That's the funny thing about a whiskey tasting.
I don't know if you can talk more, Bill.
I know.
Well, are we supposed to try the chocolate?
Oh,
and
if you'd
cheese
like,
with this?
sure,
Yeah, I'm
sure,
gonna
sure.
do that.
Yeah,
Just
do that.
cheese and chocolate.
cheese.
Yeah,
monkey
do
with
whatever you
this.
want.
All right, I'm going to try cheese.
Those are really just to cleanse your palate,
Okay.
which is just another snobby thing to say. In
Just like
Scotland,
cheese.
yeah, in Scotland you pick up a meat pie.
Oh, that sounds good.
That is nice.
Cheese didn't do much.
No,
Try chocolate.
try
I
the
think it did a little. It did a little for me. I think what you're telling me though is that with any of this stuff, patience is very important.
Yeah.
And if you're starting off with maybe lesser quality stuff or cheaper stuff, then some of the tactics we're talking about are going to be even more important. Might allow you to get more out of a more economical purchase. You know what I mean?
And also, as you know, we're tasting the different whiskeys. Are we enjoying them? If we were just to do the one, and we did that, nothing but just that all night long. And then if we went to this, will we go, ooh, that's horrible. Have you had that experience with wine? You know, you drink wine, go, oh, this is really good. And then you try another wine, you go, ugh.
I've had that experience with people.
Sure. See, Rock?
Yeah. And he still works here.
It's a wonderful place to work.
No, I like this better with the chocolate.
I think the chocolate's a lot of fun.
I like to start trying chocolate on the show.
I liked it both ways, but the chocolate.
Yeah.
They help each other actually. I mean,
Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate, but it
I am.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I feel like I got this gourmet dessert going on here now.
Well,
Do you think, to some extent, with the chocolate, is it partially the sugar, perhaps?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think you have tannic flavor in the chocolate, and you have
think it
tannins in the whiskey, but
And I think it goes back to your brain is being fooled.
yeah,
You know, and your brain is saying to yourself, well, I really like this. This is different. You know, and I haven't met anybody that doesn't like chocolate whiskey. And most people just go, I can't believe it explodes in my mouth. And I think that's the interesting term. Explodes. It tastes different.
I have a different question. Do you smoke at all?
No.
Okay, because that'd be something we need to get another opinion on. But I know a lot of guys who they don't want to have Scotch unless they can pair it with a pipe.
Yeah.
You know, pipe smokers
Or
really,
with the
or
last
cigars
one.
Cigar, maybe, but pipe
Cigar,
smokers
yeah.
really enjoy.
The island whiskeys, they say that's the one to smoke a cigar with.
Okay.
You know, so that's your Winston Churchill.
Gotcha.
Now, do you say island whiskeys or Isla whiskeys?
Island. They're the island where most of them, there's 11 distilleries on the Isle of Islay.
Yeah, ISLAY.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's 11 of them out there, and we're going to try this one. But they do make island whiskeys, like the Campbelltown whiskeys are considered island whiskeys. It's generally the west coast of Scotland and beyond.
Jura and the rest of it.
Yeah.
So there's Isla, but then there's islands.
yes.
And you want
So
to
we're
be
gonna be
inclusive
doing
of all that
then the
type, then you
island.
say islands. Okay.
And the reason it tastes different is because it has seaweed. So
Okay.
you will taste the iodine from the seaweed because the water is influenced by that. Even when it rains, as it gets into the little streams and whatnot, makes its way into the distillery, it has that seaweed peaty. Most of the island whiskeys are heavily peated. Now, I'm going to be going to the Lag Distillery on the Isle of Arran in a couple weeks. It's a brand new distillery, and they are specializing in smoky, peaty island types. Where at the other end of the island, Arran whiskey is more like the Macallan.
Interesting.
I'm looking forward to tasting it. This is stronger. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
This is the mecca for whiskey drinkers. They
A lot
want-
of people say it tastes like Band-Aids or medicine or that kind
House
of thing.
burning
And
down.
it usually
Yeah.
does the first sip. The second or third sip,
Yeah.
you go, this is really good.
Yeah.
But the Islay is the mecca. If you're a
Yes.
whiskey drinker, this is where you want to go.
Amen. It's
I've never been out there one of these days.
the most delicious house fire that you'll ever taste.
So now
Yeah.
you're biasing yourself here, aren't you?
I am biased. I don't care.
Anyway,
Okay.
did we try this?
Lagavulin 8.
So yeah, iodine. When you mentioned
All right.
iodine, it's like, wow, am I tasting
Yeah.
or smelling the iodine?
Yeah.
This is very, very different just in smell from the Lagavulin 16.
World of difference.
This is why my friend's wife said it smells like Band-Aid.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with her. It absolutely smells like
Now you
Band-Aids.
said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you-
Tastes better than it smells.
It does.
Kind of have
Don't
to.
let the iodine fool you. And it's a lot sweeter than I expected.
This is a sweet one.
It's very sweet.
But you can taste that peat. You
Absolutely.
can taste the burnt soil.
That's smoky. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Very, very burny.
very nice. Be a nice whiskey to sit after dinner.
And again, it makes me want a pipe. Makes me want to have a pipe by my wood stove.
I'm hoping the water opens this up and
It should.
cuts down the burn. This is, the Lagavulin 16 is like
Yes,
caramel.
it would, and
This
it would
is
also
light.
coat the glass.
This is like a watered down apple juice.
Yeah.
That's,
See, I don't know this one, so I don't know.
me
if it-
neither.
And
I saw it and wanted to buy it. And
Now I'll say this: I'm detecting more of the brownness after putting the water in. How's that for weird?
Oh, great.
You know, I felt the same way. Yeah,
Hey, look, guys, I could be a whiskey taster.
you could.
I am a whiskey taster, whether I know anything or not.
No, but see
story.
if you agree. I mean, it's opening up in ways I wasn't expecting to be.
The first sip is harsh, and you go, well, I'm not going to like this. But when you do the second or third, it starts to really, to me, I like it.
Yes, it's mellowed out a little bit for me on the with the water.
I am surprised how light it is in color.
Yeah.
It says to me it's an American oak cask.
Okay. I like the cheeses with this one. I think I would like a stronger cheese
And a pipe.
and a pipe. That goes without saying. But I think the a sharp cheddar, or like a cheddar or a Welsh cheddar or something would go nicely with this.
All right, should we try the chocolate with it now?
Yeah.
You got yours?
I want the chocolate. Yeah. I think
The whiskey in my mouth, residual whiskey esters in my mouth from before. I just had the chocolate, and the first flavor that hit me with my put the chocolate in my mouth was marshmallow.
He's strong.
Tasted like marshmallow.
Now, just to talk on the glasses. This is the popular glass right now.
Marshmallow.
It used to be
I'll
just
give you that. S'mores.
It does.
Tastes like a s'more.
Straight up
You're
s'mores.
absolutely right.
You got the campfire thing going?
It's
Yeah.
a burnt.
Chocolate?
It's a burnt marshmallow.
Yeah. Got a little bit of the sugar. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Is it going to rain?
We got a fireplace.
Tastes like a freaking s'more. That is so strange.
Do you sell these glasses?
Yeah.
They're very popular, the Glenkinchie glass.
Yeah.
It used to be.
With USA Kilts logo.
I don't have anything.
I
Yeah, but you don't sell
Yours
the
isn't
ones
cool.
with the logo.
I know.
I got a cool one over here.
I know. It used to be a tumbler. That's what Edinburgh crystal tumbler. That was the thing. But this is
like
the
a rocks glass kind of.
because now you get your nose into it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. What is the smart way to get started in this if you're just getting started with trying out whiskeys? I mean, how would you recommend?
Basically,
Is there a strategy,
No,
or you just
no.
kind of follow your gut, or what?
if you go into we're in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
$55 to $65. Buy
We'll
a
get
bottle.
you something
It'll get you something
decent. Okay.
You will find there are some whiskeys out there that are $22. Don't. Because you're going to drink it, you're going to go, this is horrible.
Yeah, I don't like it.
You know, and if you don't like that, then you're never going to appreciate this. So treat
Or you're going
yourself.
to turn yourself off to it before you
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
try
I'd be
something
afraid
good.
of doing is
Absolutely.
basically,
So
psyching
spend the
myself out.
$50, get a bottle, hoard it. You know, when you have your friends over, bring it out.
Put that one away
Yeah,
for
and-
certain friends.
yes.
Bring it out for the good friends.
I had a great night one year in Galway, in Ireland. It was my turn to buy the rounds. We were there with the Jimmy Kelly
So you
band.
bought the cheapest thing on the shelf?
Nah, I go up, and this fella's up there, and I bought the rounds, and he said, American? I said, yeah. And I said, you're Northern Irish? He said, yeah. He said, what are you drinking? And I said, I'm drinking single malt Scotch whiskey. He said, I'm drinking Irish. He says, I'll tell you what, you buy me Irish, and you buy me Scotch, and I'll buy you Irish.
Okay.
So we both put a €50 bill in the bar. Never saw a penny of it back. I had some wonderful Irish whiskey.
What do I
You
know?
make friends with whiskey, you know?
Yeah.
You end up talking, you end up kidding. And at the end of the night, you're all best friends. You know, so that's the nice thing about it.
I don't disagree.
Nice whiskey.
Well, yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, boys and girls. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. We want to thank our good friend Bill Reid. And until next time, boys and girls,
Cheers.
Slange Avange.
Slange.